We are live in the Santan Valley. Tom D. Camillo, Joe Carrero, and this is CAC Live on a beautiful Thursday morning in the Santan Valley. And an exciting show today on Saturday. Central Arizona College will reopen its Don P. Pence Center for Visual and Performing Arts with an all-day affair that starts in the morning with the Great Arizona Puppet Theater, and then we will have some vocal and choral music and jazz music going on in the middle of the day, and then on Saturday night, the Gin Blossoms will be christening the theater with a concert with So Much for Serious, CAC's own group of students who have their band that were recently signed by a local company, and they're going to be the opening act at 7 o'clock, and then Gin Blossoms will go on. And today we have Kim Osteen-Pestrashak with us. And Kim, welcome. I'm glad you found the studio. I know we're out here.
Thank you. Yeah, it was quite a ways out. But thank you so much for having me.
Everybody always comes up and they see the reindeer and the llamas and the alpacas all out front there, and it's but it's an unbelievable studio.
We always wondered why people were late. We find them sitting out and taking pictures by the fence.
Yeah, it is. Looks pretty great.
So Kim has joined us, and we're going to talk about what's going to go on Saturday with the groups that are going to be performing. Also, a little bit later, we're going to have Nancy Smith with the Great Arizona Puppet Theater, and then we're going to have Scotty Johnson, the lead guitarist for the Gin Blossoms, and he's going to join us at the 11 o'clock hour. So, Kim, it's you've been with I know you've been around the CAC for a long time. You've been full time with CAC for what? Is this your second year?
Second year, yes.
And when you came in last year, the Penn Center closes.
Right.
and for somebody in your business, tell people what you do.
Well, I'm the director of choral studies at CAC, so basically I teach all of the choral classes. So last year we actually didn't even have a choral classroom for me to teach in. We actually had our choir classes last year in, I think it's a social sciences room. There's a big map of the world on the wall, so it was a little different environment. It wasn't ideal.
And Kim, I know you're having a little trouble with your headsets. You can go ahead and take them off. You can hear me okay. They're probably a little more comfortable for you. We'll take them. Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Oh, okay, that's good. So was it daunting when you first came in and all of a sudden the facility's closed?
Not so much. I wouldn't say it was daunting. It was challenging. We were rehearsing in a space that wasn't really designed for what we were doing. But we made it work, and it was exciting to see the renovations going on, and we were just looking forward to this year and knowing that it would be so much better. So
now fast forward to this coming Saturday. What's sort of the atmosphere, or what's sort of your feelings on it? You have this excitement probably of being able to be one of the first events in there, and then the people that are the students and the community members that are part of your group, they must be excited as well.
Yeah, actually, everybody's really thrilled to have the Gin Blossoms coming to campus, and then to have our show during the day is just going to add to it. One thing that's kind of different is we're actually going to be having our afternoon performance in the band room, which is newly renovated. Since we're having so many things going on this weekend, we had to use different performance spaces, but that gives the audience a chance to see the new renovated spaces. So we'll fit as many people as we can in the band room and kind of go from there. So we're all excited. And then next week our show Oklahoma is opening, so it's just a great time right now.
I know the tickets for your performances are already gone and into those rooms, and it is a good opportunity to kind of see some different space inside the theater, the way to show it off. When you're looking at the Penn Center from what it was to what it is now, for the vocal music that you guys do, what's the biggest change, or what's the biggest improvement that impacts your area?
Well, just the classroom that we use every day, I think, is much better. We got rid of the old carpeting. We've got tile in there, so the acoustics, it's a little bit more live. We can hear what we're doing a little bit more. So we're really enjoying that. And then just everything is so top of the line now. It's just, you get this feeling that you're in a space that you might find anywhere. Phoenix, Tucson, any larger city. So I know everybody in the fine arts department is really interested in doing high quality work. So we have the facilities now that kind of match what we're trying to do. So it's very exciting.
As facilities, and it's true about any facilities as they get older, and the Penn Center was 30, 35 years old, you have those challenges of technology changing and all that. So, and you battle that kind of every day. And now with a new facility, you get to really just focus on the music and that part. You don't have to worry about those other things.
Right.
This, so talk about what will be going on Saturday with your group? What kind of music will they be performing, and how long will the concert go on?
Well, we're doing a little bit of a variety. The concert's actually called Sounds of Signal Peak, which is something that we started doing last year. I just thought of it as a way to give the audience a chance to see different aspects of music at CAC. So every time we do one of these concerts, I try to get different types of performers, sometimes solo vocalists, sometimes guitarists, different styles of music. So it's really a variety. All three of my choirs will be performing. The jazz choir, 6 ladies that are doing a fabulous job this year. So they'll be doing mostly jazz music, but a little bit of variety there. My other 2 groups, college choir and community choir, those are concert choirs, so we do a little bit of everything. They're doing some South African folk songs. My community choir is doing a gorgeous German song from the Romantic era, so kind of an older one, and that was a fun experience, teaching them how to sing in German. But it's a beautiful song. They're doing a great job. We're doing a little bit of contemporary music as well, some a cappella arrangements of some pop tunes. So I like to do a little bit of everything. And then for this concert, too, we have some special guests. I've got a classical guitarist playing a couple of songs. We also have some students from the EIT program doing more contemporary rock music. I've got a group doing some reggae-style music. So really a variety. We also have the cast of Oklahoma giving a brief preview of the show,
Wow.
Just a couple things. So I think the concert will probably be over at 4 o'clock, so probably about an hour and a half. So it's going to be a full show, though.
It's amazing how quickly everything's ramped up, because you go right from these shows and then Oklahoma, and then in November, I believe, toward the end of November, you have then more concerts, don't you?
We have a concert on December 6th. At the end of the semester, we have a winter concert, which is actually going to be performed along with the handbell choir. And that will be on the Penn stage. So we have a little bit of a break, but not, just enough time to relax a little bit, and then we start up again. So.
How long does it take to prepare? Because sometimes we'll get asked, like a lot of the shows, when what you do, and then what John Owens does when he's doing performances, and Rick Moore when he does his concerts, and the jazz band and the community bands that he has. But it really does take time to kind of get people to a point where they can perform on a stage. They just can't come in August when you first start and get thrown up on a stage. Right.
Usually we need a little bit of time. I've been really, really pleased with the students that I'm working with this year. They really do learn quickly. I actually feel a little bit more relaxed than I usually do right before a concert, because a lot of the music they picked up very quickly, and I would say it usually does take at least 3 to 4 weeks to learn a few new pieces. Some that we're doing are a little bit more difficult than others, but they've done a great job. So sometimes it just depends on the piece, but they're doing a fabulous job.
Now, if people are interested in the different, you said there's 3 different choral music groups, and if people are interested in participating in them, can you explain kind of the differences? Do you have to be a student? Do you have to take classes, or can you be a community member and sign up? And how does all that work?
Well, you don't have to be a full-time student. You can just be a member of the community. You can register through CAC just for that 1 or 2 credit hours, and just participate for fun if you'd like. But yeah, it's a pretty easy process. I have a lot of people email me, for information. So my email address is actually kim.osteen@centralaz.edu. I get requests, all the time about community choir and stuff like that. But as far as the differences, two of my choirs do meet during the day. The jazz choir and the college choir meet Monday, Wednesday, and Friday afternoons. So people would have to be available 3 times a week. So generally the people in those groups do tend to be full-time students, but they don't have to be. If somebody was interested and did happen to be available during those times, they would certainly be welcome to join those groups. My community choir meets Monday evening, and that one actually has members of the community and also sometimes students, full-time students, part-time students, that just happen to be more available Monday evenings than they would be during the day. So there's really a mix in the different groups. College and community choir I consider concert choirs, so we do a variety of traditional choral music as well as some contemporary stuff. My jazz choir really does focus mostly on jazz music, a little bit of musical theater and pop, but usually with some type of jazz twist. Since vocal jazz music does tend to be a bit more difficult, the jazz group does require a short audition just to make sure that the participant can hear the different harmonies associated with jazz and would be able to do that. But it's a pretty low pressure, short audition.
What is your background? Obviously, it's in music, but did you kind of grow up in the area, or have you been in the area a long time before you came to CAC?
Actually, I've been in the area for a long time. My family moved to Casa Grande when I was 12, so I went to part of junior high school in Casa Grande, and actually, with the exception of a couple years where I lived a couple other places, I've been in Arizona my whole life. And one thing that's a little bit unusual, I guess, is that I can actually say that I have degrees from all 3 state universities. So, I don't know, that's kind of different. So, so I've definitely been around the state quite a bit. But I've lived in Casa Grande this time since 2000. So, I've been around a little while.
And then, were you teaching before, or were you teaching?
I was. My degrees, actually, a lot of my degrees are in music composition. So I've actually done a lot of writing music. But I've always been involved in vocal music as well. I was involved in choir and musical theater pretty much all throughout high school and college. So my background is a little bit of both. A lot of vocal music and a lot of composition as well. And I think the composition, really helped me become a better musician, so I think it all kind of worked together pretty well. So,
what attracted you to CAC?
Well, CAC, I've always, since I can remember, living in Casa Grande, I've always known about CAC. When I was in high school, I took voice lessons out here. I took piano lessons. I remember the vocal teacher that was here for years and years, Kim Fryermuth. She would actually come out to Casa Grande High School and teach us, how to sight sing. She helped us prepare for various vocal festivals, and so that was probably my first encounter with CAC, was just working with her. And, she taught me a lot of things early on that I really wouldn't have known at that point in my life if it hadn't been for her. So I really enjoyed that. And then, I went on and studied at some other places, but, I always kind of had good memories of CAC. When I came back to town, I taught for a few years at the high school. I taught choir at the high school, and then I decided to go back to school and learn some more things. And I finally finished my doctorate in December of 2010, and the opportunity was just here to teach vocal music at CAC, and I thought it was perfect. And it's been a lot of fun. I really enjoy working with the students, and I also get an opportunity to teach other things as well, such as music theory, which as a composer, that's something that I really like. It's something that I enjoy. So I think it's perfect because I get to do a little bit of everything. So
we're visiting with Kim Osteen-Petroshak from Central Arizona College. We're going to take a short break, and we're going to talk more with Kim, and we're also going to talk with Nancy Smith from the Great Arizona Puppet Theater. You're listening to CAC Live on KQCK in the Santan Valley. We'll catch you in 60 seconds.
Our family pets are such a big part of our lives. That's why Kelly's Critter Clips of Queen Creek and Sun Lakes has been providing pet grooming services for over 10 years. Your dog's comfort is very important to us, so we take the time to treat your pet with care, love, and professional attention it deserves. We welcome any size and breed and feature shampoo and conditioning,
you have the
styling,
paper.
flea
We're
and
gonna
tick
call
tips, ear cleaning,
M.
nail
Is her name-
trimming, and so many other
No, the
services
first woman's
that
at
will leave your
10:45.
pet looking good and smelling
No,
good
Jim Blossom's are
and
at 11.
feeling great, all
So
at an
when I'm
affordable
interviewing
price.
this woman,
Located in
Kim,
Queen Creek and
sometimes
Sun
she might
Lakes.
say
Call
something,
now for
and
an
to kinda keep you
appointment.
involved,
480-655-5066.
Kinda you and
Kelly's
say.
Critter
And
Clips.
when the Jim Blossoms are on, he'll be on for about 15 minutes, and then we'll kind of come up.
When
and
you
wrap up
visit
with
Hill Family Dentistry in Santan
So,
Valley,
now, you'll need
dentist
the-
Dr. Tim
you'll
Hill
need the headsets
provides
if you
each
wanna listen
patient
in.
with personalized, gentle
So,
care that you deserve. Our entire team is dedicated to providing you and your family with services that will make you smile. With a full range of general, cosmetic, and specialty dentistry
Yeah, the other side too,
services
probably.
that will keep you and your family smiling. Our commitment to our community is to provide outstanding oral health.
So you
Hill
can call
Family
her
Dentistry is located on
and, Nancy Smith.
36359
Great, thanks.
Gansell Road in Santan Valley, diagonally across from Banner Ironwood Hospital. Evening and weekend appointments available. We accept most insurances and have in-office policies available for non-insured. Contact us today at 480-588-8127. Hill Family Dentistry.
You're listening to CAC Live on KQCK in the Santan Valley. Tom DiCamillo, Joe Carrero. And just a reminder, if you're looking for tickets for the Gin Blossoms, they are available. There'll be some available the night of the show, but they're going fast, so you want to get them at events@cac.com. That's events, AT, not the @ sign, but events@cac.com, and the tickets are just $20, and the theater is tremendous. And Kim, while Joe's getting Nancy Smith from the Great Arizona Puppet Theater to come on, the theater is impressive.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's everything's brand new. Like I said before, I mean, you could be anywhere in this theater. You could be in Phoenix, you could be in Tucson, you could be in any other big city.
It's a lot of people have kind of said that they have an opportunity to peek in there, especially I think the sort of the atrium that the area when you walk in with the glass windows instead of having to wait outside.
Oh yeah, it's really nice. I love all the glass and just the new colors, sort of the new theme is just so much more modern, and I really love it.
Does it feel, when it just has that feel, and do performers feel that? If you're and you've performed over the years, when you go into different theaters and you go into a specific one, does it really feel different? Like when you walk in and say, "Wow, we're performing here," and then, as opposed to performing in something that maybe is older and.
Oh yeah, I've performed in various spaces, throughout the community, and but never anything quite so polished and nice and new as this one. So yeah, it does give you a different feeling,
The joining us now is Nancy Smith from the Great Arizona Puppet Theater. She's the director of the event that's going to be taking place. It's called Three Little Kittens, the musical. Nancy, welcome to CAC Live.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
So let's talk about what's going to happen on Saturday. I know that we've had pretty strong interest from a lot of parents with young kids, and I know the age group is preschoolers to about third grade. And this is what we've been trying to express to people. Sometimes people think of a puppet show and they think of the Punch and Judy in a little box and looking at it. This is something totally different. This is going to be on a big stage in the Penn Center.
That's right. We were doing this show with what we call what are called large rod puppets, and also the mama cat is like really big too. So it's a large scale show. Lots of fun, based on the story of the Three Little Kittens, and of course it's a little more than that. And these are the ones that lost their mittens, which everyone knows is a horrible thing to lose in Arizona.
And now, tell us a little bit about the Great Arizona Puppet Theater for those of us, that don't know about the theater and what it is. Explain how it started and what you actually do and where you normally perform.
Well, we have our own theater in Central Phoenix, and the Great Arizona Puppet Theater has actually been around since 1983. And when we first started, we went places, exclusively. We went to schools and child cares and libraries and festivals and places like that. And we had always wanted to have our own theater, so we finally got our first theater in 1988. And then in 1996, we were able to actually buy a beautiful historic building in Central Phoenix. It's right across the street from Margaret Hans Park. And it took us 3 years to finish the renovation. Well, it isn't really finished. I don't know if historic is ever finished. But it took us 3 years to get the place open. And that's where we perform most of the time now. But we also go out into the community, mostly in the Phoenix area, but we do get around the state a bit and also sometimes nationally and internationally as well.
What's the response to kids when they see something like this? Again, it's like you said, it's a lot bigger than what people have as an image for puppets. But when young kids especially see the size of the puppets and everything kind of come to life, the reaction must be fascinating for you guys to see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure that the size really matters that much as the idea of seeing, of kind of creating another world within puppetry. That it's totally fun, and the puppets are, all the kittens are just who they are. They're just kittens. They're not somebody dressed up like a kitten or something like that. It's what we try and do is to have a lot of fun with the story. We try when we do stories that are old stories. That have survived for a long time, like the Three Little Kittens. 3 Little Kittens Lost Their Mittens. It's like, what is it that appeals to children, generation after generation about this particular story? And then we try to kind of zero in on that and kind of expand on it, too, to make it lots of fun. So that when they're seeing the show, if they know the rhyme already, it sounds familiar, but there's even more to it than there was before. And it's one of their stories coming to life.
The stories that you guys do, are they ones that you got like this particular one of the Three Little Kittens, the musical? Mm-hmm. Do you guys take a story and write your own or expand upon it? Is that how you come up with them?
Yes, that's usually what we do. I mean, sometimes we have original stories, and we do quite a few educational shows too. And when we do the educational shows, we're trying to make to get the point across about what is important to learn about this, and hopefully get people interested and to care about this subject. In a story like the Three Little Kittens, what we're doing is trying to find out what's fun about it. And with this one, I wrote a script and original music that goes along with it. So that's why we call it the musical. Musical, by the way, is spelled MEWCAL. So it's a cheesy little joke.
I think that
which is a lot of fun.
The community has seen the advertising and the marketing for it and has really taken to it. And what's it going to be like for you to be able to perform on an opening day at a theater? Have you ever had that opportunity, other than maybe for your own, to sort of christen a theater?
I don't think we have. It's really exciting, and we're really pleased that we're going to be part of it. Great Arizona Puppet Theater, we really celebrate the state of Arizona, and it's wonderful to get out into Arizona and do our work elsewhere. So besides the Phoenix area, so we're very excited about it.
How long is the show?
Oh, it's not very long. It's probably, all of our shows are performed live, and so they're going to vary a little bit depending upon the audience reaction. But it's probably about 45 minutes.
So it's perfect for young kids, because after about that time they get fidgety and want to get up and get walk around.
Yeah. It's real cute, and it's geared especially for young children.
If people want to check out your actual facility in Central Phoenix, do you have a website that they can go visit?
Yes, we do. It's azpuppets.org. And if you just remember Arizona and puppets, you can find us on any internet search.
Well, Nancy, we look forward to having you on Saturday, and I know a lot of people are excited in the Casa Grande and the Pinal County area to come out and check out the Great Arizona Puppet Theater. It's the Three Little Kittens, the musical, MEWSICAL, and there are some tickets left. There's no charge for the tickets. You just have to go online at events@CAC.com, and you can order your tickets there, but you do need tickets to get in, and we're looking forward to it on Saturday.
Well, that's great. We're very excited, and it's exciting that you're able to. People are able to get free tickets because we love it when there's no barrier for participation to come and see our shows. We love people, and we love them to see our shows. We love kids.
I think there's we got a call from one group. I think it was a daycare, and they're bringing like 70 people. So
oh my goodness.
That was
that's going to be fun.
Yeah, that will be a lot of fun, and everybody will be really excited. So Nancy, we look forward to seeing you on Saturday. Thank you, Nancy Smith, the Great Arizona Puppet Theater Director, and the Three Little Kittens, the musical. Remember, events@CAC, and that's events@CAC.com. You can check it out. And get your tickets if you're interested. And Joe, why don't you give out the number? We're going to take some calls after the Gin Blossoms, after Scotty Johnson, the interview a little bit later. If anybody wants to call in and ask some questions of Kim and about the CAC program or about tickets, go ahead and give out the number.
480-745-1033. And if you can wait, we're not going to take them during the interview, so we just get a little beep, during the interview. If we get loads of calls in, it's going to be rough.
We'll do it probably about quarter after or so, or people can blog in during your chat room and then do it that way.
We're doing the chat right now. We've got some good chat going on, and there we go.
All right, so we're going to have Scotty Johnson on here, the lead guitarist for the Gin Blossoms, known as Honey Boy, and we're supposed to ask him about that. Their people said to mention that and kind of see his reaction. It's something I guess he's fond of. Kit, were you a fan of the Gin Blossoms?
Yeah, I remember that was right when I was an undergrad in college the first time, and yeah, all of the sort of 90s music. I mean, yeah, it's a lot of fun, that they're still that they're coming out to CAC and that
when you guys perform, when you're looking at the talent that comes through CAC, can you kind of identify somebody that really has it? Because you see all these shows on TV now, the X Factor and Dancing with the Stars and all these kind of different performance type things, and you watch them, and then all of a sudden you can kind of say, yeah, that person has something different. Can you tell when you bring in a group of people that you say, yeah, there's somebody has something special there?
Yeah, absolutely. I work with a variety of different students, and there's always those people that walk in the door and right away you can tell, this person's very, very talented. Some people really do surprise you, though, because a lot of people just need that little bit of extra help or a chance to try something, and it's amazing how many students I've seen that, maybe didn't jump out right away, but that improved so much. So, I see a little bit of both, and I think having either is just an awesome experience. It's nice when you get somebody to come in the door and they're just awesome right off the bat, but I also like to see the growth that happens too.
Is some of it confidence? Like people may be singing at home and they can sing, but they've never kind of done it publicly?
Yeah, and that's another exciting thing to watch too. There are people that just have that confidence right off the bat, and then there are people who develop it over time, and I think that's amazing to watch too. But yeah, it's amazing either way.
You're listening to CAC Live. Tom D. Camillo, Joe Carrero. We're visiting with Kim Osteen-Petroshak from Central Arizona College. In a few minutes, we're going to have Scotty Johnson, the lead guitarist from the Gin Blossoms, on with us. And we do want to thank Nancy Smith, the director of the Great Arizona Puppet Theater, for joining us a few minutes ago. There's still tickets left for Three Little Kittens, the musical. You can go online at CAC. Events@CAC.com, and that's events@CAC.com, and still pick up some tickets. There's no charge for the tickets to the Three Little Kittens, the musical. The tickets for the choral music that's going to be going on, those are already actually sold out. And then the Gin Blossom tickets, we do have some available. They're $20 each, and you can go purchase those online. And And then I believe we have...
All right, buddy. Thanks again. Hold on.
And I think we have Scotty Johnson with us from the Gin Blossoms. Scotty, welcome to KQCK and CAC Live.
Thanks.
Scotty,
Nice to be here. Nice to be listened to.
We appreciate you joining us. Tom D. Camillo here along with Joe Carrero. And Saturday night, you guys are going to be down at Central Arizona College performing at the Don P. Penn Center for Visual and Performing Arts. I know a lot of people are really excited in the area in Pinell County to have the Gin Blossoms come. Can you kind of talk a little bit about... This is the opening day for this theater. It's been renovated over the course of the last year, and I know you've played a lot of venues. Have you ever had an opportunity to basically christen a theater or an arena?
I don't think that I don't think I have had that privilege, so I'm very excited to check it out.
Let's talk a little bit about what the Gin Blossoms are up to now. Are you guys in the studio? You've been on tour a little bit. Where are you guys right now in terms of new music and all that?
Yeah, we did a big tour last summer, kind of a bunch of 90s bands, Sugar Ray and Everclear and us. Then, we've been doing weekends ever since then. And, so we've been playing quite a bit, actually, recently. We're doing a lot of live shows. And we've talked about doing another CD. We did one about 2 years ago. So we just need to stay home for a while and write and think about that. But no big plans for any new music right now.
You go back to the 90s when you guys, and I'm from the Philadelphia area, and I remember hearing the opening riffs to Hey Jealousy, and I was just newly married, and my wife and I were in the car, and I can remember hearing it the first time, and it both struck us, and it's like, wow, that's really different, really, good, and we went out and got the CD right away, and we've been fans ever since. What was it like for you guys when that A New Miserable Experience CD went, was nationally on the charts, and you guys were touring? What's that like as a musician to kind of hit nationally? What's that feel like?
Well, it's just, it's a dream come true. It's an awesome feeling. I remember, the label had tried to break Hey Jealousy in the fall of 92, and it didn't really work. And so then they tried Mrs. Rita, and then in the spring of 93, we did a college tour where all we did was play colleges. And at the beginning of that tour, there wasn't much going on. But by the end of the tour, Hey Jealousy had broke. And, there was lines out the door, and all the club owners were freaking out about all the people. And so that was really exciting to see it, kind of go from nothing to all of a sudden it hit. And like I said, by the end, that it was on. We knew that, our lives had changed. It was really exciting.
How did it change? All of a sudden you go from, kind of playing colleges and doing that, and then now you're playing arenas, and your faces are recognizable. How did it change for you?
Well, it's just you work so hard, and you're kind of stuck in club land. You know what I mean? All you do is rock clubs. Across the country, all you do is play the Club Congress everywhere in every town, and which is fun and cool, but those places don't hold that many people, and so that's kind of how it changed. Just all of a sudden, every gig was more important. You know what I mean? We couldn't just kind of slop through the set. People were really there to hear us play songs and listen, and I don't know how to describe it, but when you're kind of a club band guy, it's kind of loose, and what I mean, you're just having fun and playing with your buddies, and then it changes where people really expect something from the band. 'Cause they had to pay $25, to see you play. So then it changes things a little bit that way.
It's almost like you're in AAA, and then all of a sudden you got called up to the majors, your whole band, and now there's a different expectation.
It's funny you say that, because it is exactly like that, and I don't know if you noticed, but my team, the Giants, are killing. They played the first game of the World Series last night and took care of the Detroit Tigers. And anyways, yeah, it is like that. It is kind of like being called up, and like I said, now, you know, every at bat, every performance is important, and it means something, and you know, it's part of your stats or whatever. Yeah, you're stuck with it forever, and yeah, it's exactly like that.
You just mentioned the Giants, and I'm a Phillies fan, and I'm a big Hunter Pence fan, so I was disappointed when they traded him. So you got a good one there, and that I'm sure you saw that play the other night where he hit the ball 3 times off that shattered bat.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah, that was pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, I think he's trying to get the bat back. He's offering a lot of money for it, from what I understand. When you're out touring, do you get to, you know, when that whole thing happened and you get, you know, all of a sudden you're super famous and now you're touring from city to city and you can't go out in public as much, do you get to enjoy it at all? I mean, do you get to kind of enjoy the cities, whereas when you're kind of a club band or college band, you could probably, you know, playing colleges, you can kind of sort of go out and do your thing and the public doesn't mob you. But did you get to enjoy it, or does it just go by so fast?
Well, you know, I know what you mean. I'm being a guitarist, you know, it never was that bad for me. I never got hounded or anything. But, you know, I see other bands or celebrities, and it does kind of, you know, it messes with your life when you can't just walk down the street. Like I said, we toured with Sugar Ray, and, you know, Mark McGrath is such a recognizable guy. You know, it changes your life. I think it kind of sucks. You know, it's hard for him. Whenever I see him, like, outside the hotel at whatever city, you know, he always had to wear sunglasses and a hat, and, you know, tried to be incognito. And yeah, sometimes when you're so recognizable, I think it's kind of hard, and, you know, you can't. Your quality of life kind of diminishes a bit. I mean, I guess that's the price to pay for, you know, celebrity or stardom or whatever. But yeah, it definitely, it'll affect you, and, you know, it'll change how you think about things. And, you know, it would be tough not to be able to just go to the grocery store without somebody wanting an autograph and all that. It's so tough for those guys, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there was
yeah, you know, I also know Alice Cooper up here, you know, in Phoenix, and I've seen him been hounded by people, and you know, it must be rough for a guy like him. You know, it's just a little too much. You know, I don't know what it would be like being Bono. Like, you couldn't go anywhere, right?
No, you could. There was a band in Philly that in the 80s, early 90s, the Hooters. I don't know if you remember them, but they there was a guitarist, John Lilly, and I grew up in Westchester, and he lived in Westchester. He used to come in the grocery store, and when I think it was "And We Danced" hit, he used to come in and he'd buy his groceries, and, you know, I'd say hello and talk to him. And when that hit and the videos hit, man, he couldn't even come in the store anymore. I used to feel bad about that because the guy just wanted to get his groceries.
Yeah, that would be horrible. You know, like I said, being a guitarist, you know, you don't get as much attention like the singer does, but yeah, I remember that. You know, it's funny because the very first venue we played after New Mizzle Experience came out was the Trocadero in Philly.
Yeah.
That was the very first show. The old Trocadero, right? Because they moved it, right?
Because I think the old one became a strip club, I think, is what ended up happening to it.
It was like kind of a theater, right? It had 2 levels.
Yeah.
And we on the way there, our van broke down, so we barely made the show. It broke down in Memphis. And, and we opened up for Toad the Wet Sprocket at the Trocadero in Philly. And I'll never forget that, just because that was the first date supporting what, and, you know, now ended up being, you know, our classic record. Yeah,
it's funny because there's I know David Bowie and Springsteen, they would start, the Rolling Stones, a lot of time they would start in Philadelphia just because of this kind of cult following that people had of musicians. It's a good way to start the tour for tours. It's funny, I was talking to Doug Merrick, who, you know, works with you guys and helps set up the interview, and I said to him, one of the songs I really like is 29. And it reminds me so much of my brother, who's one of the stars of MTV's Jackass. And and he went kind of through the same thing that you guys. Yeah, he kind of went through the same things that you guys went through. Like he'd go down to Jersey Shore and he would get mobbed when Jackass was at its height, and but he's like in his mid-30s and he's still living like he's 29, and it just reminded me of many of my friends. How did that song come about? I mean, obviously we know people like that, but it really kind of, the words really kind of hit home when I listened to that song.
Yeah, Jesse wrote that song, and it is a great song. Well, occasionally we'll play it. We haven't been playing it lately, but yeah, a lot of people request that one. And if there's just at some kind of magical age, like you're saying, like that's right before you turn 30. Like I'm still young. I'm still cool. I'm not. I don't have to be responsible yet. I'm not 30.
I don't have a mortgage.
Yeah. But then it hits, right? We all have to grow up.
Yeah, and my brother.
I still live like I'm 29. Yeah. That's what the problem is.
Well, I said my brother's like in his mid-30s, and he still, although he's put his money away, but he still kind of lives like that a little bit. So, especially with that kind of show. Does it, now that, into this career from the early 90s to now, you're looking almost like a 20-year span, does becoming a performer, does it settle into being like a job? And do people probably always view it as, wow, it's glamorous, but really you have to work. I mean, whatever you're doing, whether it's studio time, writing, whether it's doing other things, it really is your job.
Yeah, and it is a job. I mean, you try to think of it, more as a career. It's my career. The thing that makes it hard is just the sitting around and the traveling. You're only on stage for an hour and a half or 2 hours. So, what happens the other 22 hours in the day? There's a lot of travel, and that gets old for me personally. I can't speak for my bandmates, but yeah, after a while, I don't want to get on the plane, and I don't want to, drive and do this, and that does get old. But but that's just part of it, right? I'm sure. Every occupation has its downside, that people don't like. But yeah, when you're a young kid playing the guitar, you don't think about it that way. You just think about the stage and the funness of it and playing. But you're right. What really happens is it turns into lots of hours of waiting around and waiting for the gig to happen. And then once it's done, the other night, we hadn't done this in a long time, but we played a show in Jacksonville, and then we all hopped in the van and we drove all night for the next gig. And the poor crew had to go on and set up with everything for the next night, and I got to go to sleep for a while. But, nobody ever thinks of that stuff when you're a young man learning how to play guitar and write songs. Yeah, you don't know that that's what's in your future.
Yeah, it's funny because we all think you come to town and you're here for us. It's like, wow, okay, they're here, they're performing in our city, and it's for us. But it's a stop in many, many nights of these long bus rides or early, midnight plane rides and you got to get up and perform again. So it's almost like being an athlete. You got to be like on your game every night because people are paying to see you.
Yeah, it is almost every night, and basically, you become kind of a night owl, and it is hard to get up early in the morning when you stayed up to 4 the night before.
Scotty, when you look at, when you talked about the band and sort of breaking in the early 90s, and now you look at the way music is going now, where the accessibility of the internet and YouTube and everybody's own websites, do you think it would have been easier or harder now to kind of hit that national spotlight? And the reason I ask that is easier because you probably could do it yourself and kind of avoid some of the restrictions that radio stations had at that time and music companies, but then harder because so many people are out there and can publish their own stuff. It is definitely different. The only example I can think of is Fun. The band Fun, right? Yeah.
Nate's from Peoria, Arizona, the singer.
Okay.
And I met Nate when he was 19, and, we could all tell at an early age, how talented he was, and he was such a great songwriter, and he's got this amazing voice. So, what I'm trying to get at is that, there's still hit songs, and they still come from, like, the band, but then they take off. That still happens, that process, whatever it is, still happens today. But you're right, it's a different process now. It's a different medium. It's more about YouTube and getting your songs in commercials and that kind of thing to get your music out there. So I don't know, if we could compete with today, like if we came out today. It's hard to judge. But when you do have a hit song like The Funds, We Are Young, it's still gonna make it somehow, some way. That still hasn't changed. That kind of magic that happens with a song. And, it is different now. It's not so much radio-oriented, right? There's other avenues that bands pursue. Back in our day, it was all about college radio.
Yeah.
Back in the early 90s, we were considered a college band, and that's pretty much what we did, was promote our music on college radio.
It was fun because I did college radio.
Do the bands still do that? Is that where they start? Or do they just go to their YouTube?
I think it's more YouTube.
Making videos.
Yeah, making their own videos and YouTube. I did college radio in the late 80s when I was in college, and, bands like the Red Hot Chili Peppers and different ones that long before they got mainstream, and it was always like as soon as they got mainstream, it was like they got kicked off college radio. And I'm like, you don't want to do that. It's still good music. So do you still enjoy playing?
That's true, yeah. There's definitely a difference, yeah. Once you made that leap, then you were not cool college band.
That's exactly right. Do you still enjoy playing this, like, specific songs? Like, do you get up and Found Out About You? Is that something where you haven't played it for a while, and then you get up and you play it to an audience? You're like, wow, this was really good, even though we did this a long time ago.
Yeah, I know a lot of bands like won't play their hits or whatever. I just think that's silly. Like Neil Young never plays Heart of Gold, which is such a great song, and I know he has so many great songs, but. Yeah, no, we're not like that. We like to play the hits for everybody, and, I'm happy that they're there. You know what I mean? I'm glad we have those songs that people like and they want to hear, that kind of thing.
Well, we're looking forward to having you down at the Penn Center, down in the Casa Grande area at Central Arizona College. It's a beautiful new theater. It's been renovated, and I know they're getting ready for you guys today. And the show is Saturday night, 7 o'clock. There's a young band called So Much for Serious. It's part of our entertainment industry technology program. CAC has one of the best studios, believe it or not, that was installed recently, and this student band came out of it, and they're thrilled to have an opportunity to do an opening set before you guys, and we're looking forward to having you down there, and I'm going to be at the concert. I hope you guys do 29. It's one of my favorites. If not, I love all the songs, and we appreciate you guys coming down to Central Arizona College.
Yeah, we're excited too. It's going to be a fun night. I'm proud to be in Arizona, to rock in my state, and I'll talk to the guys about 29. I don't know. I can't guarantee it, but I'll mention it and see if we can throw that one together for you.
And we definitely have some fans out there, Scotty, wanting to do a shout-out to you. We got Luke out there and lots of others saying, hey, we're looking forward to seeing you. And me from, my name's Joe from CAClive radio station here on the line. I just want to say thanks for coming on and looking forward to seeing you out there, man, performing.
Awesome, Joe. Nice to talk to you, and I will see you on Saturday.
Scotty Johnson, the lead guitarist for the Gin Blossoms, joining us, and there'll be Saturday night. If you need to get tickets, there's still some available. They're $20. Events at CAC.com. That's events, ATCAC.com. You can go online and purchase them. I'd encourage you to do them quickly because they are going fast. The theater holds a little over 600, and it's intimate by some standards, bigger by other standards. In Pinell County, it's one of the bigger ones. In the city, it's probably a smaller one, but you're going to get a really good opportunity to see the Gin Blossoms live in Pinell County. And if you're coming from the Valley or from the Tucson area, it's an easy ride. Just go down Interstate 10, and you get off at the McCartney Boulevard, McCartney Road exit, and just head east to Overfield, turn left, and come right into the campus. And it's a very easy way to get there. It's it's got to be exciting, Kim, just to look at what's being done in the Pence for just this semester. I mean, we talked a little bit about Oklahoma and your shows, but when you kind of look at the whole picture of everything that's going to be, October 27th, we're opening, and now you got boom, 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 all these shows, and it just breeds a lot of life into the campus and to the theater itself.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Oklahoma is one of the, biggest musicals of all time. One of the old classics, and it's great to be putting that up on the stage. So, and you're right. Just a week after the Gin Blossoms. So, I think there's a lot happening in this area, and I'm glad to be here.
Then also we have the Nutcracker is going to be coming to in after Thanksgiving. Is going to be coming to CAC, and that's with the group from Casa Grande. We had it 2 years ago. We sold out the performances. So if you're interested in those tickets, you make sure you get those early. There's a great story I'd like to tell about the Nutcracker. When we did it 2 years ago, there was a family with 4 little girls that came to the show, and the father forgot to buy tickets. And it was sold out, and they were dressed for the holidays. And they were all like 7, 6, 5, 4, and they were out with the mother, the father, and the 4 little girls, and all ready to see the Nutcracker. And I just always remember they walked up and were like, "We're sold out." And the mother was so mad at her husband. And so, it was. And so Stella Garcia and I were looking around, and we're like, "Okay, let's see." I said, "Okay, stay here." So we started asking people as they came up, "Look, do you have tickets that you want to turn back in?" And we collected 4 tickets from people that somebody didn't come in their party, and actually 6. We got them all in. We got them all in.
What are the odds of that?
It was the best feeling. They were because you could see they were all there, and there were tears in their eyes, and we just had them sitting. Said, "Wait, let's see what we can do," and it was kind of awesome. So,
were they able to sit together?
Oh yeah, we put them all together.
Wow,
they had a great time. But what I'm encouraging is buy your tickets in advance. It's because these shows are gonna sell out. Kim, in the spring, you'll do some concerts as well. What goes on in the spring? What type of concerts will you do?
Well, we're going to do another Sounds of Signal Peak concert, which, again, I enjoy because it's a variety, and it gives us a chance to work with other performers who aren't necessarily vocal or choral, sometimes instrumental. Sometimes I invite students from the theater department to do something, so that's always fun. We're doing one of those. And then we'll have another concert with the handbell choir also. We like performing together, so we'll do that again. One thing, though, that is nice about the spring is there are some performance festivals that I do take some of my groups to participate in. So we usually go to the Northern Arizona University Jazz and Madrigal Festival. So that's a fun festival. We get away for the weekend up to Flagstaff and get some feedback on our performance. And then last year, for the first year, we actually went to the Reno Jazz Festival, which was a lot of fun, and I think we learned so much. So I'm planning on taking the jazz choir to that festival again. So there's a lot of exciting things for us and also, for the community happening in the spring.
How do you go about planning where you want to go to take the students, and also how do you go about planning shows? Do you change it from year to year? How does that work?
Well, some things stay consistent. Usually it's good to plan on having a couple concerts per semester, just to give us a chance to show what we've learned. But as far as the festivals go, honestly, the Reno Jazz Festival, I just found on the internet. I looked up jazz festivals, and I found Reno Jazz Festival, and I found that it's one of the best jazz festivals there is. So that's how I found it, and I thought, hey, let's go check it out. And it was amazing. There were so many great performers, not just vocal but instrumental as well. And then Reno's just kind of a fun, interesting place to take a bunch of 19 and 20-year-olds. So we had a good time.
If Joe, we getting any calls?
We've had lots of calls.
If you want to pick up some, if anybody has any questions, we'll take them. We have
Okay.
about 4 minutes left. Again, you're listening to CAC Live on KQCK on Saturday at 11 o'clock. The Great Arizona Puppet Theater will put on its program, Three Little Kittens, the musical. That'll go at 11 o'clock. It's about a 45-minute show. And then on Saturday afternoon, and what time is your show starting? 2:30?
2:30.
2:30. It's about a 90-minute program, and it's the Sounds of Signal Peak. And actually, that is sold out. But I think afterwards we're going to have some cake outside that we're going to serve as kind of the official opening of the Penn Center. And then on Saturday night, the Gin Blossoms, and we just had Scotty Johnson, the lead guitarist. He's also known as Honey Boy. He joined us here for about 20 minutes, and they're going to be playing at the Penn Center. Tickets are $20. We do have some tickets left. I encourage you to go get them as quickly as possible. And again, if you're coming from Tucson or Phoenix, just head down I-10. It's a short ride. I know the football teams, the one team that is away and the other team is playing during the day. So students, if you're up at either the state schools, you can travel down and check out the concert. The Gin Blossoms music transcends generations. If you like good guitar, rock and roll, it's terrific music. And I would like to thank everybody for chatting with us. And Joe, give out the number real quick.
480-745-1033.
And Kim, if people want to get let's give your contact information again. If there's people that want to participate in any of the vocal music groups, how they sign up or how they get a hold of you.
Sure. Probably the best way would be just to email me, and my email address is Kim Osteen. That's KIMOSTEEN at centralaz.edu.
Is there a dot between the Kim and the Osteen?
Yes, Kim.Osteen. Thank you.
Just know it's one of the
Kim.Osteen, yes.
So, and make sure you email Kim if you're interested. Do you get a lot of winter visitors that come back and want to sign up, or is it kind of too late once you get started?
Occasionally, no. It wouldn't necessarily be. We do have our winter concert, and then we've got one in the early spring. So that fits right in with the sort of the winter visitor timetable. So that's fine too. I'd be happy to have winter visitors. Really, anybody who enjoys singing would be a welcome addition. They
obviously from October till March. End of March, that's a big hub. You're seeing them arrive right now. So if people are interested and they're retired and want to get involved, they can do, because some of the classes, like you said, they meet during the day.
Yeah, and that's really either one is fine. A community member can also participate in one of the daytime classes as well. They don't have to do the Monday night one if they'd rather. So and
Joe's getting a flurry of phone calls here. We have about a minute or two left, and we'll see if we'll answer a couple questions. Thanks, Fred. So Joe, you got a question there?
No questions.
No questions.
Just comments.
Okay.
And I took two and just turned the phone lines off there because it's about the end of the show here. Gina from Yuma said, great show. Love the Gin Blossoms. See you at the concert.
Nice.
Fred from Phoenix said, see you at the concert. An awesome interview.
Terrific.
So thank you for those of you from all around listening to the great interview there with Scotty
Johnson.
That's right, from the Gin Blossoms.
So, and then we want to thank again Nancy Smith from the Great Arizona Puppet Theater, and of course our in-guest studio, you get elevated if you're in the studio. Kim Osteen, Petroshock. Kim, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. Good luck on Saturday. You guys will do a great show.
Thank you for having me.
So for Joe Carrera and Tom D. Camillo, we'll check us out next Thursday on CAC Live on KQCK in the Santan Valley.
Are you ready to start taking control of your future and maximize your earning potential? Central Arizona College has smaller class sizes and personalized attention to help you compete in today's tough job market. CAC now serves Santan Valley and Queen Creek. The CAC Santan Center is located in the shops at Copper Basin on Hunt Highway, behind Barrow's Pizza. Stop in and see how taking classes at CAC costs a fraction of a state university, and your credits can transfer. So, if you want to earn real money, you need to learn real skills at Central Arizona College. Enroll in classes today by calling 480-677-7825 or visit www.centralaz.edu or call 480-677-7825 or visit www.centralaz.edu. Central Arizona College, your way.